Hi, I'm Gretchen, and this is my COM 114 informational speech. If cameraman will pan the audience, we'll get started. Recently, my husband and I purchased a restaurant, and as we're getting to know the business, we had questions about how to set our menu prices to remain profitable and competitive in today's market. So we would look at our items on our menu, and certain items like our French fries. They cost us 30 cents to make a serving. We sell them for about $1.50, so that's a pretty respectable 20% food cost. When people would come in and order French fries, we'd think, oh, we're making some money off of this. At the other end of the spectrum was our fish dinner. That cost us $4. We can sell it for about $10, so that's a whopping 40% food cost. So when people come in and order a couple of fish dinners, we think, you're killing us. We're going to go broke. Turns out, we were looking at it wrong. Done a little research, and we should actually be looking at the gross profit. So on French fries, the gross profit of that is $1.30. So we would have to sell 44 French fries every hour in order to cover our cost and make the profit that we want. With the fish dinners, which had that 40% food cost, they have a gross profit of $6. So we don't even need to have 10 customers in that same hour to make the same profit. One of the references that we've relied on a lot since we've started doing this is the book Running a Restaurant for Dummies. And it says that typically food costs in a restaurant account for 20 to 40% of the sales. If you think of it, this is ignoring 60 to 80% of the financial picture. So it really makes sense to consider that gross profit needed when you're setting your menu prices. And there's 3 parts to this procedure. The first is you really need to know your market. You need to know who are your competitors, both your direct and your indirect competitors. You need to know your customers, and most importantly, you need to know what your market is willing to pay. And you do need to know and control your food costs. But today we're going to talk about the most important step, which is how do you determine your gross profit needed. So to do this, you're going to have to look at your financials, look at your books, and you want to look for an annual period. You want to do it over that 12-month period so that you're reducing any seasonal fluctuations. But it's important that you do this more than once a year. So if you do it quarterly, but you cover the whole 12 months, that allows you to make more timely corrections. My research has shown that customers tend to tolerate incremental increases throughout the year on certain menu items rather than across-the-board increases all at once. And customers tend to tolerate about a 2% increase. So, in order to come up with your gross profit needed, you're going to add up all the costs of doing business. So you're going to look at your controllable costs, and those are your food items, the cost that it takes to make your menus. The second is with your labor, and for a lot of restaurants that is also considered a controllable cost, but for us, because we're small and we just have a core group of employees that are there most of the time, that's more of a fixed cost for us. I don't know if you can zoom in and see this a little bit better. But then your other controllable costs are things like your rent, your utilities, marketing and legal and accounting fees, and all those miscellaneous things that it costs you to run your business over the year. You add up all that and you add in your desired profit, and that gives you a sum total of the sales needed. Then, from the sales needed, you subtract you subtract the cost of your food, and that gives you your gross profit needed. And I broke this down actually for us hourly, and you can see that we need a sales of $113 an hour in order to meet our projected goal profit, and a gross profit of $88 per hour. Then you take your gross profit needed, and you divide that by your number of customers you've served in the year, and you get your gross profit per customer. And I just chose a number of 10 because we can't really count each customer. It's more each sale for us because of our record keeping. So if 4 people come in at once, that all counts as 1 customer. So I get that we need $8.80 gross profit per customer. You need to remember, this is not that we need to add $8.80 to every menu item, but that's what you need for each sale. So you can get that by upselling, even if the extra item you're selling has a higher cost, it's still what's left over goes directly to your gross sales. So, in summary, I hope you can see that this menu pricing strategy takes into account all the cost of doing business, and it reduces the guesswork of how much you need to sell in order to make a profit. I hope you find this information helpful, and I thank you for your time. I appreciate your support for our business and your support for helping me get through this class. Thank you. And come on, one more time. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.